Infernal Blessings. We are back with another video. Before we begin, a couple quick announcements. First and foremost, if you're interested in a spiritual reading or a consultation, I offer various different types of readings. I offer telepathic demonic readings, Santa Muerte readings, Egyptian oracle readings, shadow work readings, which is always a great reading, to do when you're looking for a sense of purpose or direction. Deity readings to see what gods, goddesses, demons, and spirits walk with you. Or maybe you're interested in a spiritual consultation. Like I say, most people use a spiritual consultation pretty much to, they might have a list of questions they want to ask. They have a bunch of questions on certain aspects of the occult or the left-hand path. Or sometimes they want to focus on a certain area of interest, or sometimes you want to just focus maybe on something specific that's going on in your life. You can use it for any of the aforementioned. So if you're interested, shoot me an email, khnum19@gmail.com, and I will get back to you. Please include in the email the days and times you are available, along with a weekly availability and along with the time zone you're in. We'll find a day and time that works for you. Don't forget to check out the Primordial Chaos social media pages. Primordial Chaos 9 on Instagram, Primordial Chaos 2 words on Facebook, primordialchaos.com 3 on TikTok, and I'm sorry, hold on one sec. Just looking at something here. My apologies. Also, if you want to sign up for classes, don't forget to go to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page at patreon.com/Baniti. That's patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, Tier 3. Tier 3 gives you access to the 3 private classes that I do every month on Patreon, including the group ritual that we do at the end of the month. Also, keep in mind when you join the Patreon page, you don't just get access to the classes from the day you join moving forward. You get access to everything in the archives, and that's going back 5+ years. If you want to see all the ongoing classes, just go to the Patreon page at patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, and go to the collection section. You will see all the ongoing classes with constant new classes being added on a regular basis. All right. So that's the way to get in on the classes. As I said, that's the email I get all the time. What kind of classes do you offer, Baniti? How do I sign up? Well, that's how you sign up. Go to the Patreon page, patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, and join Tier 3. And also, we do have a date, as I said in the last video, for the 8th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference. It is official. That will take place from October 30th to November 2nd this year. Kind of excited because Halloween actually is that Friday evening this year, which is Friday's the night we do our major indoor ritual. So we got some exciting stuff planned for that. So the date is set. There'll be here at Cultural Expressions here in Hollywood, Florida. That's the 8th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference, October 30th to November 2nd. More info now as we're getting closer in the month of June. We're approaching, the summer's kind of here as we head towards the fall. More info coming on that as the weeks go by. All right. Okay, so you see we kind of piggybacking a little bit off the last video, hopefully also from the last video a few days ago. The Nina Negra 7 Days of Death ritual is also up now on the Temple of Ascended Flame website. You can print and download the free PDF. It is an open project for anybody to participate in. Again, I encourage people, if you're looking for a good ritual working, to do that really personal internal work that we all need to be doing on ourselves, then that's the one for you. All right, so this title, every once in a while, this has to be addressed because it comes up. I've always said people will reach out about rituals and things they see in books, things they read, stuff that they see in other circles, other platforms, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, etc., etc. Right? And that's why I label it, are you a follower or are you your own person, right? Are you a god or are you a mortal? Okay? Are you a goddess or are you a mortal? Okay? I've always said from day one, never to word verbatim mimic or copy everything, step by step from a book. Okay? And I want to reiterate why I've said that. Okay? It doesn't mean you can't use excerpts, pieces, certain sections, but always understand this. When, for an example, if you get a book written by an author on any particular spiritual subject and that person has created a ritual or written a ritual, keep in mind, I want you to keep in mind something. Their energy is stamped all over that ritual. And understand when you're replicating it identically, you're tapping into the same energy literally that person did. Now that may not be, it could be productive for you, it could be very non-productive. So be a leader. That's what I mean. Be a god. Be a goddess, not a follower. Okay? A lot of people are just regurgitating and mimicking the same shit that they heard somewhere else. It's ridiculous. There's other people that like to take information, pretend it's theirs, and then, spit it on their platform, and they think it sounds heavy and it sounds deep, and it really doesn't. Right? A lot of this shit out there, I'm just gonna keep it real with you. It's redundant. It's repetitive. It's the same old bullshit and nonsense. And like I said, if I'm doing a video or a class, I give you guys the resources. If a book is being used, a resource is being used, I give you that information. Okay? But what I've found out is the books are not to be utilized as your sole driving force of what's motivating you on your path. I've always said a million times over and over again, the books are just an outline or a map. Okay? An outline or a map to give you guidance, right? You can't go into a ritual with the book right there. And I don't know how you do a ritual like that anyway, period. Now, it's different when you're understand the difference between, your own personal solo practitioner work as far as group work. It's a little different when you're doing group rituals, right? When things have to be a little more structured and organized for a group. All right, there might be, you might have a format or something that you're using. That's a little different. But I'm talking more so from your solo work, all right? When you're doing solo work, you need to be in the chamber focused on what it is you're doing. You can't have a book in your hand being distracted by something you're reading out of a book. So the next question always comes up, well, how do I, just get locked in, right? If you, for an example, if you see something written in a book or something you saw online, study and absorb the ritual. Get the concept and the purpose of the ritual in your head, and then create your own stuff from that. It needs to come purely from you. Stop mimicking shit. Stop depending on books. Stop listening to people who regurgitate shit, because there's a lot of bullshit out there. I'm just gonna be straight up with you. There's a lot of trendy shit. But one thing I see in the occult or in different areas of consciousness and spirituality, whatever you want to call it, people jump on what the latest hot thing is, right? What's the latest catchphrase or trend people are saying. As I told you guys in the last couple of years, shadow work has become very trendy. Everybody now is on shadow work. Some of it is super fluffy and a bunch of garbage, but everybody's on shadow work. That's become really trendy the last 3 to 4 years or 5 years. Everybody is, if it's in the occult, everybody's so dark and I'm this and I'm that. Whatever the hottest, my inner child, and whatever the I got downloads. Everybody's getting fucking downloads. It's like whatever the hottest trend is. It just seems like it's not a coincidence that everybody is using the same motif. Everybody uses the same verbiage. So say to yourself, if I'm seeing all these things in different platforms, social media sites, and everybody's kind of saying the same thing, wording it the same way, using the same verbiage, to me, that's just people mimicking and copying shit. There's nothing there authentic. There's nothing there original, right? And this path is about you creating your own way, whatever works for you. You don't need to be authenticated, mimic, or follow bullshit that everybody else is doing and do it just for the fact because everybody else is doing it. It's foolishness. Okay, it's pure fucking foolishness. Okay? So, no, I never encourage you to copy or mimic anything to the letter or to the T. I even say this on my Patreon page. With all the rituals that's on the Patreon page, what do I tell you guys after every ritual? What do I tell you guys constantly? Take this ritual as you see fit. Do with it as you feel you need to make it work for you. That's just a simple way of saying whatever adjustments, changes, alterations you need to make this personalized for you, do it. I encourage authenticity. I encourage originality. I encourage you most definitely putting your own personal flair and touch on your ritual work, because that makes it personal. That makes it your own. So no, do not mimic, copy shit because everybody else is doing it. Do not get on the trendy bandwagon because everybody's saying this or doing that. Who gives a fuck? Okay? Because then you're going to find yourself doing what everybody else is doing. When the next hot trendy thing comes in, then you're flipping to that. And it's comical. Okay? Think for yourself. Be a leader, not a follower. Be a god, not a mortal. Don't be part of the herd or part of the sheeple, as I like to call them. Don't look, I've said from day one, you've heard this term plenty of times over the years, you're either predator or prey. It's that fucking simple. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Okay? Now, I know we hear the word predator and a lot of negative connotation comes to mind. That's not what I mean. A predator is somebody who doesn't sit around and wait for somebody to do something for them, who gets up off their ass and does something for themselves. They're go-getters. They make shit happen. Prey are people who sit around and wait for people to do shit for them. Prey or sheeple are people that just sit around and do what everybody else is doing. Oh, this damn thing, everybody else is doing this, I'm going to do this. Oh, today I'm going to be, Ifa, and, I'm going to be an Alafia and a Hotepper because everybody else is doing it. Today I'm going to be, I'm going to have downloads from the ancestors, right? The ancestor. First of all, as I've said a million times with that, when you say you got a download, right? If you can't narrow that down to a specific spirit, I got an issue with that. When you say the ancestors, who is ancestors? You're speaking very vague as a whole, which I find I got questions about that. I'm not talking about you speaking to your own ancestors. That's different. If you're going to personalize it and you've got messages from your own ancestors and you have specific names and you can identify those ancestors, that's one thing. But when people sit there and say they got download for the ancestors as if it's a message for the world, that shit's comical to me. I got questions about that. Okay? That's another trendy thing that's been becoming very trendy over the last several years. Okay? Follower mentality. Okay? First of all, get your own downloads. That's my whole point. Stop relying on downloads from other people. That's why I don't, or never have in all the years I've been on YouTube, do stuff like that. Because you should be raising yourself up spiritually to have your own personal downloads and messages. It's that simple. Stop waiting for somebody else to come out with a message and guidance for you as if you don't have the ability to do that shit for yourself. That's the point. Okay? So, yeah, I don't co-sign on any of that. I've done plenty of videos on that over the years, and it just is what it is, right? I'm never going to get on and go, oh, the ancestors told me, like if that applies to the whole world and everybody. It's comical. Okay, because when you say something like that, my first question is, specifically what ancestors spoke to you? Okay? And there's got to be specifics there, because this is the bullshit that people have been playing for years. These are the same people that get on the internet and take people for their money. Right? I told you, be careful of people who are on the internet 24/7, reaching out to you, telling you they could do this and that, they could do this ritual, they could take care of that for you, they could do this and that if you pay them substantial amounts of money. It's a joke. It's comical. Okay? Stop. That's follower mentality. Learn to do the rituals for yourself. Okay? Stop thinking you can pay somebody for your salvation, because you can't. Okay? I don't care what you think in your mind. You can't. Okay? Stop being lazy and do for your damn self. Okay? Cut the bullshit out. As I told you at the end of the year class going into the beginning, this is the year not to fuck around. Okay? We're making a critical turning point in our spiritual evolution. Those that have been on this journey, those who have been on the Patreon page, those who have been doing the classes, you know 100% well what I'm talking about. Keep playing these games with yourself. Keep fucking around and holding on to all this old shit that serves you no purpose. Keep regressing backwards to systems of servitude, and you're going to get lost in the shuffle. Stop serving things. Stop being a servant, right? If you're struggling to let go of Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Ifa, Santeria, Hotepin, and all, if you still need to be part of those, I call them Mickey Mouse clubs, right? If you still need to be up under people doing things, then there's something wrong with you. And I'm not talking about, look, there's a difference between having an elder, a guide, or a teacher that can give you information and help you out, but as long as you're taking that and you're doing for self. But when you're part of some Mickey Mouse club where you only move when the guru says move, and you stop moving when the guru says stop, then I hate to say it, you're praying, you're a sheep. Okay, let's just call it for what it is. Let's stop playing these games and stop pretending. People will come on this path, and I call them, they're fence strappers. They got their right foot in and their right foot out. You do the hokey poke. Stop hokey poking on this path. Stop clinging on because you're insecure to old shit because it makes you feel comfortable and safe, because you come on this path and you open some door to your psyche or your subconscious that disturbs you because you didn't know that part of yourself existed. That's how you're doing real shadow work, okay? Not this peace and love and I had to heal in my inner child and all that bullshit, okay? It goes deeper than your inner child. Start really addressing the fucked up part about yourself. And stop acting like you're the victim all the time, right? A lot of this shit that has happened to us, not all, because some people have been a victim to shit that was messed up. But I find people, when they find the mode to play the victim, it's an escape for them. Okay? Stop acting like a lot of the shit that happened in your life and manifested in your life wasn't because of the fucked up choices you made. That you can't blame on nobody. See, that's a part of shadow work that nobody wants to talk about or address. Stop acting like you were just pure innocent person that was taken advantage of and misled all the time. I see a lot of people with that. No. Sometimes you're dumbass. I've made some dumbass decisions over the years. And that's what real karma is. It's that simple. Your choices and decisions, okay, is the cause and effect of the root of what karma is. It's that simple. So sometimes when you fuck up and make a bad choice in a decision, whether that's in relation to a person, money, maybe you're faced with making a critical choice that's life-changing and you fuck up. And especially when you know in the back of your mind, you hear the answer, right? You hear the inner voice, your inner being, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, to float your boat. You hear it give you the answer. And what is that nature or part of yourself that goes against that? You hear that inner voice saying, don't do it or do it. And then what's the motivating force that drives you to go completely the other way? Did you ever ask yourself that question? That's the part of the hidden shadow self you need to work on. Okay, we all do it. I don't give a shit how long you've been a spiritual practitioner, this, that, or the third. There's always those moments we have. And I'm sure if you were honest with yourself and you sat here and you said to yourself, let me really look back and see how many times I probably did that and fucked up. It's probably a lot. And doing that knowing good and well, you're supposed to be smarter than that. You're supposed to be wiser than that. Right? So what makes us do these things that constantly puts us in situations and scenarios where, why do I keep making the choices I keep making? It's crazy. All right? Now, look, the reality is this, too. Understand and accept that nobody is perfect, right? And that's a hard thing because we've been grown up and raised in a world where we're pressured like you have to be a certain standard. You have to be this and you have to be that. And is a criteria that we've been indoctrinated with. So first understand, nobody's perfect. Embrace every aspect of yourself. The good, the bad, the ugly. Embrace that. Okay? Make sure you're clear and you understand. I'm getting ready, just so you guys know if you're watching the video, I'm getting ready to go through a car wash here. It should be all right, though. Hold on one second. Let me just, hold on one second. So I can finish this out.
How you doing, boss? No upgrades.
Okay.
You have a good night.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry, I was going through the car wash. So embrace every aspect of this. That's what makes this journey beautiful, because we've never been on a path where we've been told it's okay to fuck up. It's okay to make mistakes, but I want to add something important that follows that, as long as you don't keep repeating them. Now, when you keep repeating things over and over and you know damn well you shouldn't be doing it, and that's where the accountability comes in on your part. Okay? When you know better, you don't have an excuse no more. Like I say, it's that old saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 or 4 times, I don't even know what the phrase is for that. But that's the beauty of this path. It's okay to have fucked up before in the past. It's okay to have made mistakes, bad choices and decisions. But ask yourself, what did you learn from those choices and decisions? When the same situations arise moving forward, did you adjust? Did you make the right decision? Did you make the change that you needed to make? Or did you regress back and do the same old shit? And this is why I always say to you, the step one in getting your shit together is, first and foremost, analyze your immediate surrounding and environments. What type of people are you associating with? What type of hobbies, characteristics, personality traits do you have? Right? Do you do things that's detrimental to your growth? Okay, that could be, I don't care if that's certain drugs, addictions, lack of disciplines, whether it comes to food, spirituality, conscious, whatever it may be. Analyze yourself, your environment, and your immediate surroundings first. Some people like to go straight to the heavy spiritual spooky shit. Okay? And you haven't even done the groundwork. Again, if you hear some noise, that's the problem. That's the thing that trips me out. Like, people will come on this path, for an example. It's a little noisy, I'm sorry. You know me, I'm trying to do things as I'm doing things. That's just how I roll. But people will come on this path and they want to do the clip pops, and I want to work with Lewis, and hold on, let that marinate. They gonna be now. Hold on. Sorry about that. You know me, I'm multitasking at all times. Managing your time is magic, baby. Managing your time is magic. But they'll come on this path, they'll jump into the clip hop, they'll jump into Luciferian sorcery, they'll do this and that, and they haven't even done any groundwork, like shadow work and demonic integration work and ancestral veneration, not worship, ancestral veneration. I don't teach ancestral worship. You should never worship your ancestors. It's the same blood that runs through their veins, runs through your veins, and you can't worship yourself. It's complete foolishness. But make sure you're doing the groundwork. Okay? And I know this topic is this. One second. One second. I just don't want the noise to interfere, sorry. Should be out of it. Yeah, like I said, don't be afraid to do that groundwork, because, as I said before, a lot of people, they don't do it. Should be good now. My apologies. A lot of people just don't do it. They come on the path and they think they're just gonna jump into some crazy shit and like it's gonna fix everything right out the gate, and that's just not true, people. Okay? It's just not true. It's not reality, and it doesn't work like that. Anybody that tells you otherwise, they're not here to help you, and they're not telling you the right thing. Okay? And this topic, being being a leader, not a follower, God, or in a goddess, and just not a mortal being, because all that lower vibrational shit, that's just lower mortal shit. Okay? See, true mastery is understanding how do you master the mundane self and the spiritual self. That's why people don't understand the doctrine of indulgence on the occult and the left-hand path. Right? Because people think that you're supposed to, this video is probably going to be a little longer than I thought, but people think that you're just supposed to suppress your desires, some of your wants and needs. That's not the right way to master them. Especially, for an example, when it comes to sexual energy. Sweeping things under the rug and suppressing them and acting like they don't exist, or trying to meditate it away, or pray it away, or whatever the fuck you think you're doing, is comical. Okay? It's comical because the solution to that is being able to indulge with discipline. And I don't care if that's food. And I've used these examples many times over there. Let's just say, for an example, with food. Right? Yes, we need to be conscious of what we eat, right? We need to be aware. We need to know our bodies, right? But if you like, for an example, let's just say ice cream, right? Something, a dessert or a treat people like. A lot of people like ice cream sundaes, this, that, and the third. It just means you don't eat the shit every single day or too much. It's okay once in a while, here and there, if you want to go out and treat yourself to a fucking banana split or ice cream sundae. Right? When people get spooktified and ridiculous and get fanatical, oh, you should never eat it. It's foolishness. These are the same people that go to Whole Foods and think everything they're getting in Whole Foods is organic, which is comical to me. Right? If you're not, I just want to make this clear. I don't give a fuck if you go to Fresh Green Market. I don't care if you go to Whole Foods or any of these other these so-called natural organic markets. If you're not pulling it from the ground yourself and growing it yourself, you're not eating 100% organic. Because even the stuff in those stores that they're claiming is organic, they must be sprayed with preservatives to preserve the shelf life. They ain't gonna tell you that. I know it's gonna say, oh no, it's 100% bullshit. Those things gotta be delivered on trucks. Those things gotta be packaged. And there's things that need to be done to them to preserve it. It's not 100% organic, people. Shit, Whole Foods got exposed not too long ago that they were getting a lot of bootleg shit from China saying it was organic. They got exposed for their meat department and some other shit. Okay? This is the foolishness that I'm talking about. People have now even taken, for an example, being a vegan or a dietary choice and turned that into some spiritual spooky shit. I mean, I'm not going to go into the whole, know your blood type thing. I've addressed that many times over the years. I'm just saying this is all in alignment with knowing yourself, being a god and a goddess, and not a mortal. Being a leader, not a follower. Okay? And these are just things that you should be motivated and driven for. Because if, like I said before, a couple years back, and rest in power to Dr. Sebi. But I remember a few years back when Dr. Sebi's died, 2000, I remember early 2000s, 2005, 6, 7. I remember it was real big for a period. I know people still not saying that it is not now, but the Dr. Sebi diet is a tropical diet. Okay? It's that will not work for everybody, and I witnessed the proof of that. I had a good friend of mine who followed that diet strictly and got a serious case of jaundice, skin, nails, got very sick because he found out based on his body. And anytime you take an extreme diet, you should go get a full physical and see all your levels, your vitamin and mineral levels in your body. Make sure your organs are functioning correctly, your kidneys, your liver, etc., before you take on any extreme diet. And he didn't do that. And because he wasn't getting enough of nutrients, enough of protein, etc., he became very sick. Not everybody is conducive to a berry and nut diet. Okay? That's just shows poor knowledge and lack of understanding yourself. Okay? But because something becomes trendy, and it gets put out there and it sounds good and everybody's doing it and it's the latest craze, here come the sheeple mentality. That must be good. That must be for me. No, do the research yourself. If you take on any extreme diet, make sure you get a full, thorough physical before you do that. Check your blood, check your organs, make sure they're functioning right. See if your levels of zinc, magnesium, etc. are right. Make sure your iron levels are right. Because you got to understand, when you're taking in certain nutrients like that, you got to make sure your unique individual self is getting the right requirements, because everybody's different. Now, you can take on that diet, and obviously with that education, factor in of what you're intaking and kind of make that adjustment, right? I'm just saying if that's your choice. But see, these are all steps, again, when you're not following people and you're doing for yourself, whether that's not copying a book or a ritual from a book, not listening or doing what everybody else is saying that's trendy, and you're doing your own research and you're doing your own work based on you, then you don't fall into those traps. Okay? You don't fall into those traps. They become obsolete because you're at the center, you're the focal point. Anyway, I could go on this topic for a long time. It's a good topic. It just came up because somebody emailed me about copying a ritual from a book, and it opened up a greater dialogue. Right? The email is, what do you think about this ritual and doing this ritual as it's written here? Okay? And again, to the person that asked about it, and I said I'd do a video on it, don't do it. That's simply my answer. Take it, okay? Use it as a guideline or a roadmap, right? To be creative, to create your own, and then go from there. Okay? And it's that simple. Once you do those things, you're trending on a path that's personally customized for yourself, or what we like to call the path of self-mastery. All right, other than that, I hope this video helped. I'm gonna have to wrap it up. Went a little longer than I would have liked. So hopefully this video helped you. Hopefully this video gave you some insight. If you need to reach out to me for a reading or a consultation, my contact email address, direct link to the Primordial Chaos podcast, the social media pages, the Patreon page to sign up for classes. All of those links are in the description box of this video that you're watching right now. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and fertile blessings.